MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell is having a very, very bad week. Several very big things have happened to Mike Lindell this week, and none of them are good. One of the most publicized, of course, is the fact that a judge this week ruled that Mike Lindell can, in fact, be evicted, his company can be evicted, from warehouses that they have been using in Minnesota because they owe more than $217,000 in rent that they simply can't pay. In fact, on his Frank Speech platform this week, Mike Lindell actually said, "I will never shut up. They can take it all. And I've said that. I've spent every dime I've had. I don't have any money left, but I don't have anything less than I had before. I had a pickup truck and a house I live in, and that's it. I don't drive around and eat with two forks, okay?" No, that's actually not okay. I'm going to call that right now. I don't drive around and eat with two forks. What does that mean? Is that an expression? I mean, my wife, like her whole side of the family is from Wisconsin, very close to Minnesota. So I don't know if that is like a northerner thing that you say, like, I don't drive around eating with two forks, if you know what I mean. No, I really don't. Somebody please explain that to me. But more importantly, what are you going to do with all your crap now, bud? Like, those warehouses were not just where you were keeping your extra sofa and an old bed you don't use. Those are warehouses for your products to store them before they're sold. And now you're losing them. You are being evicted because you haven't paid your rent. The judge has already approved it. It's done. You're admitting you don't have any money, so you obviously can't pay the back rent and keep your warehouses. So what the hell are you going to do? Your company is like teetering on the verge of not existing anymore. That's not the only bad thing that happened to Mike Lindell this week. He also lost his two lawyers that had been working with him on the case of him trying to not pay $5 million to the guy who won the Prove Mike Lindell Wrong challenge. Robert Zeidman, of course, took Mike Lindell up on that challenge that he launched during one of his cyber symposiums, said, "Anybody can prove me wrong, I'll give you $5 million. And it was an official contest, had official rules, an entry form, all of that. This guy did it, proved Mike Lindell wrong according to the courts. The courts have said you owe him $5 million. But they did greenlight an appeal from Mike Lindell. And his two lawyers who had been working on it said, "You know what? We're kind of done here. We're not going to continue representing you." And they officially withdrew as his representation, according to court records, on March 20th. So you got no warehouses for your company's crap. You've got no lawyers working on your case, although allegedly he has hired another Minnesota lawyer who is probably going to stay with him until he realizes that he's also not going to get paid. And believe it or not, folks, those aren't even the weirdest things that either happened to Mike Lindell or that Mike Lindell said this week. Mike Lindell, on Frank's Speech this week, while talking, of course, about the Georgia court case, his Supreme Court case that he thinks he's going to get, even though he's not going to get it, Mike Lindell had this to say. And it's a very weird, cryptic, apocalyptic prediction. And you'd think that would be the number one story in the world because what's happened in our country, and I told our real president, Donald Trump, this, here's a bucket. Call this the bucket of common sense. Everybody's jumping into the bucket of common sense. They look for Jesus when things are going bad. They're praying and they're jumping in this bucket and they never get out. And I tell people, we're in a win-win situation. If everything I'm fighting for, if we don't save our country, it's the end times. We all go to heaven as believers. It's a win-win. Everybody's got to embrace it. I'm sorry. I am so sorry, folks. That's lunacy. Like, it doesn't even make sense. It's like, we're all in the common sense bucket looking for Jesus, and then now we can't get out of the common sense bucket, but we're all going to die anyway, so screw it. Wow. Yeah, I mean, even if you were paying your lawyers, I would still recommend them abandoning you because this is just cuckoo banana pants at this point. And yeah, Mike Lindell's having a pretty bad week, and clearly it's taking a toll on him mentally.